All right, we're live back with another episode of the Not Afraid to Lose local sports podcast. Got a special guest. Let me go ahead and set up everything. Make sure I'm sharing the live out. Hold on, y'all. Give me one moment so I can share the live. All right. Waiting on my guest to get up in here, y'all, and we're going to get things started. Let me go ahead and set up. All right. All right, we got somebody in here already. Give me one moment. One moment. Hopefully we'll get my guest in here pretty soon. Until then, let's go ahead and let's play some music until we get my guest up in here. All right, play a song until my guests get up in here. She said she was running a few minutes behind. All right, what song can we play? What song can we play this while we wait, y'all? Please share the live, y'all. She's gonna play a song while we wait on my guest to get up in. Let's play some Isla Simone. Yeah. right, welcome in everybody. This is the sixth episode of the Not Afraid to Lose local sports podcast. I'm waiting on my interviewee to make her appearance in, so we can go ahead and get this started. I know she did say she would be running a little late, but I was running a little late also, so hopefully she'll be in the next couple of minutes. Send her the link. I've texted her, so we're just gonna give her a second, y'all. All right, we're gonna go ahead and play. Let's bring the intro up in here real quick.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say you love me, you don't love me, why you change on me? Keep a on my side, it won't change on me. Shout out, please, that's my brother, he won't fold on me. And if it come down to it, he up for me. This tricky, seeing how these other niggas move. Gotta keep my head on the swivel, gotta play it smooth. Know I can die anything, so I ain't afraid to lose. I'm knee deep up in this water, gotta stick and move.
All right, we back, y'all. We back. All right, we're still waiting. We're gonna play that one more time. Still waiting for my guest to get in here, y'all. Hold on. Where did it go?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say you love me, you don't love me, why you change on me? Keep a on my side, it won't change on me. Shout out, please, that's my brother, he won't fold on me. And if it come down to it, he up for me. This tricky, seeing how these other niggas move. Gotta keep my head on the swivel, gotta play it smooth. Know I can die anything, so I ain't afraid to lose. I'm knee deep up in this water, gotta stick and move.
All right, let me call her and see what's going on. It's almost 6:30. We said 6:15.
Light up the stogie, give it to me like you owe me. Only in town for the night. Thumbs up, no, I'm tryna hit you right. All this ass that I'm holding, eye checks closer than appearance. My girl tryna run interference, yeah. I just wanna let my head down. What you wanna do? I know you feel it too. We can really disappear on a red eye with you. I know you feel me too. Yeah. Say calls Moscato, tryna get gone as a model. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. Yeah. Say calls Moscato, tryna get gone as a model. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. Big P-A-Y-N-E, do it the best. Nova all on me, looking so fresh. Honey caramel, look at my flesh. Keep you on your job, make you sweat. Ain't no feelings, I'm only here for the sexual healing. Play your cards right, baby, I'm the one dealing. Hit the jackpot, make the waves hit the ceiling. Yeah, yeah. Calls Moscato, tryna get gone as a model. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow, yeah. Say calls Moscato, tryna get gone as a model. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow. I ain't gon' remember by tomorrow.
All right. Welcome in. Can you hear me?
All right. Can you hear me? Am I
Yes,
coming
yes.
in okay? Hello,
Loud.
everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody.
Hold on, let me go and share it real quick. Y'all that's tuned in, please go ahead and share it out. Share it out for us. And we're gonna get this thing started. Running a little late. How you doing? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, thank you. Working through technical difficulties, and I think just being a mom with kids, letting them know, hey, don't come up in the podcast space. It's
Okay,
just what it looks
you
how they
looking
do.
good. You looking good. I like the fit with the fedora, with the red underline, under trim.
Thank you. Thank you so
All right.
much. I know you keep it pimping yourself and
Oh
always
yeah,
try to do it right.
I try a little bit, a little something. All right, we can go ahead and get started. Uh, all right. So first of all, we would like for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you from and how was your upbringing.
Thank you. So my name is R.C. Thompson. A lot of family members here in Stockton. I grew up with the name Future, and I shortened it because there was a lot of busybodies and nosy people when I got into the public eye. But I shortened it into R.C. Thompson. I go by that, and I also go by the name Rebel Ray. And Rebel was given to me because of my activism work. People see me as a disruptor, but also a truth teller, someone that is able to speak about the advocacy efforts of our people, as well as the ability to be in a room, be emotionally intelligent, and be able to spit the truth about what's going on in our families, and as well as um, our neighborhoods, our disinvested neighborhoods. And so hence the name Rebel Ray. That's my host name, my pen name that I often use as contributing to local newspapers, national panels as well on disinvestment communities. Um, and so growing up, I grew up in South Stockton. I was in one of the, I would say, county sectors. We have in Stockton, we have a lot of rural county pockets. And so I grew up off of Juliet for many, many years. I actually was born on the east side next to the funeral home. And I'll go more into that. But we grew up really just working with the entrepreneur's lens, right? Serving the church, serving the community, and my father and my mother really instilled hardworking values in myself. And so my dad, being just a white sports fan, really loved basketball, and taught me basketball. And so I traveled a lot with the ability to play AAU, summer leagues,
Hold on, hold
uh,
on.
and
Hold on, we on the brief thing. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. You answered some questions that I got lined up for you.
for sure, for sure.
We're gonna get to that. So how was your upbringing out here though?
So my upbringing, I didn't grow up poor. I was middle class, with a two family household. We were entrepreneurs. My mother was a banker. Later on, was she retired because she wanted to spend more time and commitment with her children and raise her children. So she just care, which she ran for about 16 years. And my father, he ran one of two black family funeral homes here. We were the only family funeral home was not incorporated. So he taught us really to serve the community. I was raised in the Stallworth Church, and rest in peace right now to my bishop and my godfather, Bishop Louis D. Stallworth. But I was trained to serve the community in that way. And so growing up, it was hard. You had certain individuals that were haters. You know what I mean? They didn't understand what it meant to kind of stay out of trouble. So kind of navigating the South Side, I had to do it like all the other kids. although I had supports in the house. I still was fighting. I still was having to go to, I think, courageous amounts of trying to navigate South Stockton, the things that were going on in South Stockton.
Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, RP to Bishop Stallworth, because I believe that's where we first met at, probably New Beginnings, or maybe it was Christ Temple first, because a lot of black people we started off at Christ Temple, and then we migrated off once Bishop opened up New Beginnings, and I know we spent a lot of years at New Beginning together.
We did, yeah. And a lot of families, a lot of people don't know, we have a lot of historical insight from Bishop Stallworth Sr. A lot of them migrated during the Great Depression, with Blacks migrating here in the rural incorporated areas of Stockton. And a lot of True Light, a lot of the Greater White Rose family members all came from those same roots of the Church of God in Christ, in which they branched off underneath Samuel Hancock, which was very historical in the early 1900s. So a lot of people don't really know that history. We have a lot of greats and a lot of supports that continue to be pushed through. Mary Magdalene's services come out of the Greater Christ Temple. You got Samuel Hancock that later turned on to the Stallworth Charter School. So it's a lot of great history that comes out of the Stallworth family, but also the churches and the people that serve there.
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, if you grew up back in the days, you came from one or two churches, White Rose or Christ Temple back in the days. Those was definitely the two that you came from. All right, so were you involved in sports as a youth?
I was involved in basketball, track, volleyball, and I actually played football my first year at Stagg. And my mom found out, and Sister Ruth Thompson, missionary Ruth Thompson, came up there and let people know that her daughter would not be playing football. But I had a love for sports, and I was able to emotionally regulate. I undiagnosed ADHD for a very long time, and I had a lot of neurodivergent tendencies as well. So I was very straight to the point, A student, but never was in class because I couldn't sit still. And I think that's what led to my element of supporting sports, to engage and connect with different people. I'm the social type, but it has to be the type that I have to be put in a place where people can see me and hear me and be able to connect with me. I wasn't always like that. I had a problem regulating with my emotions. And I didn't like when people bullied or did things on purpose to hurt someone or hurt the people that I love. So oftentimes I found myself standing up for myself. But my coaches was that extension of my family that really kept me on track and not in trouble.
Okay. And all right. So did you play any high school ball? I know you said you started to play football at Stagg, but did you play any high school ball at all? If so, what position did you play? And were you any good by that time?
For sure. So I went all the way through Hamilton Middle School. So shout out to the different ones that went through Hamilton Middle School. We played underneath Coach Caton and Coach Bishop at the time. And then later on, as I went and we played AAU, I also went on to play other regions. And I played the 4 and the 5. So I was the big man. So that strategy was more or less one of those things where we played real dirty. It's not like how it was. We grew up with And1. So a lot of y'all with the And1 mixtapes, the Hardwood Classics, Barkley, Rodman, that was our go-tos, Allen Iverson. So we were all trying to mimic their moves. And so for the big man, really in the post, I had coaches, I had different ones that played and talked mess while they were playing ball. You had to have tough skin. I had the Tollivers, I had the Piggies, Kareem Piggy, I think David Franklin was playing at that time. So different ones now in their 40s and 50s.
Didn't PB coach you?
Yeah, so
RP
Fred Peavy coached me. Rest in
PB
peace.
too.
Rest in peace to Fred Peavy. He coached me. And he really taught me how to really post up. That was the one that really truly developed my post moves and really engaged the big man strategy. He taught us how to full press and really be in the game. And
Yeah,
it was a ride. It was a ride because we played people like Lodi and Tracy, and Lodi was burning crosses on the yard. You remember that year?
Yeah, back then, yeah.
Yeah.
And you played for
for
Franklin, right? This is when you was at Franklin, right?
So I was fighting too much, and my mama moved me from Franklin. There was a lot of people that was mad, but yes, I started my 9th grade year, my freshman year at Franklin, and we would have had the team. We were trying to get Dominique Banks at that time. She went over to St. Mary's, but we had some hitters from South Stockton and East Side that it was a group of us. You know what I mean? So that junior year, that freshman year, that sophomore year before me, like they was some hitters. We had a real good squad.
Nice. Definitely. I remember the years. Definitely. I remember you playing you at Franklin. I think you might have played with did you play with Teresa? I think you played with my little cousin, Teresa. Yeah, I think
I played with Teresa. And it was a couple of other ones. At that time, I was a better ball player in the paint than Celeste Tran. And shout out to Celeste. Celeste, I remember we went on a double header, and Stagg was playing Edison at the time, and I think that was under Coach Chet. Was that under Coach Chet?
Yeah, Chet Reed.
Yeah, Chet Reed, and they had squad: Akila Gorman, little Shirley, different ones. Now we in our 40s. I'm calling out names.
You like class of what? 2002.
2003, I graduated.
2003.
Okay. Stagg. So my mom did the whole inter-district transfer to keep me out of trouble. And I played with D Hooker, and a couple other ones, and I got MVP that year.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know
that. For big women's ball.
But because you're pretty tall. You're like what, 5'10", 5'11"-ish?
At that time I was 5'11".
Okay.
I don't know if it's premenopausal or what, but I lost some inches.
Yeah,
I'm 5'9.5" now. But I was thin, I was large, I was in charge, I was working out, and I miss those days. You know what I mean? Size 10 waistline, thick legs, and a vertical where you capturing the ball and you're pivoting and you're putting that out there.
You wasn't, I miss that on nobody though.
No, you know the first female dunk, right, was by one of my mentors. She's here. I just saw her. She's living on the streets now, but she's a legend in Stockton. And I forgot her name, but she dunked here in Stockton before Lisa Leslie did. And Lisa Leslie dunked on the national. I forgot what year that was. You might have to ask your chat, but Lisa Leslie dunked on the national level. Our minds in the WNBA. But yeah, just
if you said somebody from out here who dunked, a female dunked out here,
yeah. She played in the 80s. She played in the 80s, and she ended up being a mentor, because I played a lot of pickup ball at the various gyms and AAU, and so she would be there playing. You know what I mean? She still had it, still was in shape. But she was one of the first ones to dunk at UOP. She played at UOP.
Oh, don't tell me. Oh,
she a black woman too. I forgot her name, but she dope.
Tell me. Yeah. And you said she living in the streets?
Yeah.
Don't tell me. That's my girl, man. I remember. Oh, I remember her too. If it's her, because I remember she played at UOP too.
Mm-hmm.
She remind me of.
Played at UOP she played at UOP like in the 80s or the 90s.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was the early 80s.
Might be the
late
same
80s.
person. That was my folks too. She was real good people.
Yeah.
She was real good people.
Yeah, she was super famous for that. So when I saw her do that, you know what I mean? I was like, man, that's just badass. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I've had like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, different ones, you know what I mean, that came through and kind of paved the way for women's sports.
All right.
But yeah, like it's the biggest that we can really shout out, I think, is Dominique Banks, Celeste Trahan, and Jackie Gamero that came out of St. Mary's.
We're gonna get to all that too, because later on I got something for that too. So tell us who inspired you to start basketball. Give us someone in your life, and then give us somebody famous that you looked up to.
So my dad really was able to coach and really just keep me grounded with basketball. When I was upset, when I didn't have the words to really express some of the frustrations I had with interactions with people or how people perceived me, my dad was able to help me really get my head in the game by just managing how I reacted to things. One of his go-to sayings was, he that is in control of his anger is in control of his destiny. And I never really truly understood that until, you know, becoming of age as an adult and really being tested by different individuals. And some people, they'll throw you off. I mean, in the game, the strategy was always to get in your opponent's head.
Dennis
in
Rodman.
A way where you got that person off their game. Yeah, off of their game. So my dad always taught me to keep my head in the game. And I think Lisa Leslie was probably the most influential person. When we, like I said, when we saw her dunk, she did something nationally on the news, internationally, that we had never seen done before. Because women couldn't dunk, right? Woman was told they didn't have the upper body strength. You know, it wasn't regulated. But she was the first one with her active shoe as well in the WNBA. And that really inspired me.
Nice. So growing up in Stockton can be pretty hard. Do you think sports can help kids escape from some of the dangers that growing up in Stockton can cause?
Yeah, definitely. I think in this moment in time, right, we need to create safe spaces and safe passage and hubs right now. And I think our money and our funding need to go into recreational spaces, social emotional wellness spaces for our children. And I say this with great urgency. After the city mass shooting, that's what they're calling it, we know there has been ongoing loss. The average Black man, the average Latino man, does not get to the age of 26 years old. More than 52% die of gun violence. And that affects our children on a daily. So when we see politics, when we see poverty pimping in our city, and we see that we don't have the ability to maintain safety of our children, to have those safe spaces to connect with a caring and loving, responsible an adult like a coach, a mentor, that safe passage to adulthood, it becomes vital to survival. And like I said, it was so many people that was getting sexually abused, that was getting gunned down, that was getting beat up and on South Stockton. We had to have our coaches for safe passage, you know, and connection to steer us. So I think it's very vital.
Definitely. So have you ever thought about coaching?
So I have coached. I coached for Franklin for a short amount of time. And I've also coached in college. So after Delta College, we won 2 years straight championship. I went in 03-04. So my sophomore year in college, I decided not to go abroad and play. I decided to stay here, support my mom and my dad with their businesses, and also play ball and, you know, support my younger siblings. And a lot of times that's how it is, you know, when you're the oldest. But Delta College had a wonderful program. And so I was able to get coaching experience there with Gina Johnson after I graduated. And then I went on to coach AAU and traveling teams.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know you coach. Definitely. That's
Yeah.
nice. All right. So I noticed you've been doing a lot of great things in the community for a number of years now. Can you tell us what drove you into doing the things that you do for the community?
Thank you so much, Matt. So, as you know, we have a lot in common when it comes to the loved ones that have passed on. Um, a lot of my cousins were gunned down by gun violence. Shout out to Isaiah Thurman, rest in peace. Shout out to Marky Stalwart, rest in peace. Shout out to Rari, rest in peace, my kid's father. And many different ones that I can't even list. The list goes on and on. If you're in Stockton, we're such a close-knit community. It affects all of us. And that was one of the things that I wanted to really uplift. I said I wanted to go to college, get my full degree. I got my master's in social work, and I got my BA in a psych degree. I started off with working with autistic kids. I noticed that when I gave back in my volunteership with the Special Olympics and with children who were diagnosed with autism, a lot of times they were pure at heart and they were able to spit to you some of the coldest truth about yourself. And you have to laugh and kind of see for yourself how you kind of line up with spirit. And so that was always a heart-centered approach to people, taking care of people. But 30 years in the family business of the funeral home also taught me how to be of service, how to watch people, how to support people and wait on people, especially during the grief and loss process. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know how to be present. They don't know how to ground, and they don't know how to show empathy when someone's at their worst. So I wanted to practice that in a way that I gave advocacy in myself too, to be a better person. And that led me to the work of being an activist and an advocate. And I always said I wanted to be a social justice advocate. Some of my greatest activists that I really look up to, James Baldwin, Marcus Garvey. There's so many different ones that I found myself in Black empowerment and pushing the empowerment of our people. Our people have been marginalized. They've been lied to, and they've been barriers after barriers have prevented for equity here in America and abroad. So I know I wanted to contribute in a way where I could be present for my community first. And then as I traveled abroad, as I traveled in different circles with different activists, I wanted to make sure that I was learned and that I could continue the civil rights struggle, the civil rights activism for our people.
Nice.
Sorry about the noise. I'm out here on my patio. But I think in the middle of all of that, really seeing how our people were still struggling, and on that, a lot of our people in our African American and Black diaspora of the world, I think we're all interconnected by the struggle. And so if we could tell our narrative and we can be control of our narrative, we can save somebody.
Definitely. Okay, you got a few people in there, and I don't know if you see in the comments, but Lamar Scott says, "Hey, RC." Mary Davis says, "Hey, Ray." You mentioned you're on your patio. I was going to ask you that. Is that a background? Is that your real background?
No, this is my patio. So
okay.
I'm a social entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm a social entrepreneur. One of the things that I learned to do was interior design. So I'm gonna be telling y'all a little bit about myself, a little bit more intimate things about myself. I took up interior design. I took up that with the funeral home. Okay, being a kid, you learn how to be committed to like backstaging, presence. I was real big in drama and acting, and the arts. So I did a lot of that traveling with the arts. Went down to LA, Oakland, and engaged in the arts and the Black arts, Black Harlem Renaissance, studied that. So I am there. Anytime you see me pop up anywhere or you see me decorate is with real intention. So a lot of my work is centralized in Africa diaspora, and that's what I'm known for. So a lot of my furniture, I'm at one of my homes, and I'll be showing you and telling the public about that. But one of my homes is a respite for those that need it for recovery. And so I'm now branching out into sober living homes, as well as respite homes for people who are suffering with loss, grief, and depression, and pairing that with therapy. But yeah, I'm sitting on my patio here in one of my homes. Definitely.
And you know, I know you a little bit, so I know you definitely as much into detail and looking nice and looking good. Now I'm starting to think that's why your ass was late. Shit, yeah, you got your makeup up, you got your lipstick on point. Like, God, she knew she was gonna get on camera, y'all. So she made it a little late. She had to have everything right, y'all. She had to.
Hey, listen, Black excellence, Black excellence. But I tell people I'm one of them Black people that is going to explain to you about the time of relation versus relativity. And a lot of times in this centralized whiteness, you know, we're on a time clock of those that say that we're supposed to govern ourselves in one way. And I've traveled many places. I've traveled to the tropics. I traveled to the Caribbean. I've traveled to Egypt, different parts of Africa, and we are the same people. I do not believe we are the same people. We are relational when it comes to time. We like sitting and taking time, and I'm not always on time. I pay attention to details. Sometimes I get lost track. My assistants sometimes get on me. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to show up 30 minutes early. I'm coming in right in at that time. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think in that moment, it's always time to clear that up.
and it's
people
called,
that know me,
what they call it, fashionably late. You was fashionably late, girl, because you came in killing. I got to give you a problem on that. Came in fashionably late, but hey, we ain't mad at you. Shoot, you know.
Listen, this is your image is everything. When you're building your brand, y'all, you know, and running my podcast, that was one thing that I really wanted to stick on. And let me tell you, I'll be going through the whole mic situation. Is your internet on right?
Yeah.
Building your stream platform, it takes a lot, right? It takes money to go into your brand, but your image, your public relations, how you show up, your authenticity, like, people see through that. You know what I mean? And that's part of my brand. So
yeah, definitely. So you mentioned your podcast. I didn't know you had a podcast too. Can you tell us a little bit more about your podcast and what do you do with that, and how long you been running that? Because now we in the podcast space, right? Everybody's got a podcast. Here I am. I'm running 2 podcasts right now.
I love that.
But can you give us your details on your podcast and what got you started with?
Thank you so much. So, because of the informational desert that we live here in Stockton, our narrative wasn't being told. And you know, side note, shout out to the new Black newspaper that is going to be here telling our narrative. I will be a correspondent for the Stockton Observer. So call me when you all have your events and when you need to make sure that you have coverage for your events. And we're going to support our narrative and our stories. But what I was finding out was there was a lot of rage baiting. There was a lot of negativity. Nobody was talking about the growth and development of the person. And so I started off my podcast in COVID with, at the time, my partner, Art Collins, with Against All Odds podcast. And we started it in his studio, his personal studio. And what we did is we talked about what mattered most to family, to politics, to music, to sports. And we centralized it on the well-being of the person. And so when I left and I branched off, I started the Prune Tree podcast. And at one time, going through, I had really, really struggled with suicide ideation, and I attempted suicide. And I don't really talk about it much. I think the struggle of it came with the process. Those lonely nights when you're alone and everything seems to fall on you. Raising 2 kids, single, one child's father, not in my oldest life due to gun violence, died a very violent death. That leaves you with stress as a Black woman, trying to be an entrepreneur and a CEO. And I'm very private about my life when it comes to what I share, because I notice some people don't practice empathy. They don't practice caring. They don't practice showing concern. So I'm not always open to talk about it, but
they just want to be in your business.
Right. A lot of people just want to be in your business, and they're trying to figure out how you're doing it. But what happens when the lights turn out, you're in the dark, and you got to be with your mind. And that's the pruning, right? Like when we talk about the tree, we talk about the ecosystem of the soil, we talk about the minerals, we talk about everything that goes on with that tree. And one day I was praying, and I was, you're not supposed to ask God why, but I'm asking God why, with everything that I have to offer, why me, Lord? Why do I have to consistently go through? But I noticed when you going up the mountaintop, when you're looking at that tree, you know what I mean? That tree has to go through a pruning. You know what I mean? That tree has to sometimes in bearing its fruit, it has to peel back those things that don't serve it no more. Has to drop off some leaves, has to drop off some branches and some limbs. And I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to put boundaries and protect my well-being and my emotional regulation. And it's a battle of the mind sometimes when you're doing the pruning of the self.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, Ashe. And that's okay. I think it really hit me in my 40s that I'm not nobody's mammy. You say that for the ones in the back. I'm nobody's mammy. I think as Black women, we have raised a nation with the ability to have them suckle on our breast and take our children and take our husbands and break away our families. And we served in commerce. So when self-integrity and growth line up for the person. And that's where I'm at, in my 40s. I'm learning my self-worth. I'm learning that I don't have to take what's given to me. And be able to speak that truth to people who say, no, you are going to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And be okay with it. 10 toes down.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what I'm learning. People have been telling me you got to learn how to say no sometimes. Sometimes you got to learn how to say. And me having to
don't be that yes person.
Yeah, me, I be trying to help everybody, and it's hard for me to tell people no, but I'm working on it. So you mentioned you attempted suicide.
Yeah, I did. I attempted suicide, and God will send the most mysterious people. At the time, it was the Stockton Police Department. I was having a meltdown. The Stockton Police Department was not informed on how to deal with what they were seeing. I knew what was happening to me, just could not express it. I was very overwhelmed. And in that moment, struggling in the mind, in the heart, in the body, in the spirit, feeling despair, feeling overwhelmed. You're going to run into people that look down on you,
So do that come with like some type of depression, that you fell into some type of depression and it caused
I did.
that, And that,
I did.
struggle within the Black community that we don't talk about, because Black folks, we always say we don't need counselors, we don't need therapists.
Mhm.
I'm still at that point. Like, people been telling me, oh yeah, you got a lot of trauma, you need a therapist. I'm still like, no, I got God, I'm all right. I'm gonna be all right. Because definitely after this last year, even today is the 1 year anniversary that I lost my baby girl. So I struggle with stuff, and I just fight so hard. I can say I can be stressed, but I can't let myself get depressed. There's a difference. There's a difference between being stressed, and then being depressed. Because depressed will put you in that mind frame of maybe you even want to hurt yourself. So I try to stay from that, but we don't talk about that as Black people.
No, we don't talk about it, and as you know, we will use all type of maladaptive coping skills. And so those maladaptive coping skills, whether it be going to the internet, putting all your business on there for some unvaluable attention seeking, whether it be alcoholism, whether it be sexting individuals, multiple partners, trying to find love in all the wrong places, whether it be
Hold on.
your inability.
You read my life story.
Are y'all ready to have this conversation? Are y'all ready to have this conversation?
You kind of read my life story. Hold on. She said the
Black
put your
people.
business out there, the alcoholism, and the sexing, multiple. Oh man, yeah. I'm just playing, y'all. This not my life story, but yeah, this is a conversation that
I think it's a lot. I think if we're telling the truth, it's a lot of our life story, and we're seeing it more and more played out on social media. It's become a very unhealthy space how we conduct ourselves as Black people.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it because I'm a healing agent. And if we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna be real about it. We are at a point in a pivotal time that we are being actively erased in America. The contributions of African Americans, our integrity, our moral and social guidance is being, our children are looking at that. Our children are normalizing how we present ourselves. So who's going to turn the tide? I tell everybody right now, like, we're young elders. We're in our 40s. We're in our 50s. You're now the young elder. A lot of our elders we lost in COVID, colon cancer, a lot of alcoholism, the opioid crisis, the crack epidemic, the AIDS epidemic. So when I tell you that we maladaptive coping with alcoholism, with adverse attention seeking, will hurt our sister, will hurt our brother, to get the attention that we know we need to work on. And I've seen it actively play out. It's very concerning.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way that we go through a lot of that. In, like you said something very interesting earlier, that we us as we only you said something about 52% live to see 26.
Y'all Black men, 52% only live to see 27 in South Stockton.
And that's so crazy because when people call me old or you old head or whatever, I'll be like, man, it's a blessing to be old, bro. Because I know so many people that's done way less than me that did make it to see age. I lost a lot of loved ones, a lot of friends. And to me, it's a blessing for me to be
Rest
this.
in peace, JJ.
Yeah, definitely. Aaron Vickers, all of them.
Aaron Vickers, all of that. Y'all see, people don't know our story, Matt. People don't know our story. And then what affected me was the vicarious secondary trauma, because I'm picking up the bodies, removing the bodies with my daddy. So I got to see my friends. I got to see my friends that are dead. We got to prep their bodies. We got to sit with their family. So it affected me growing up. And I carried so much growing up. And I really ever talk about it because it's kind of unprofessional to kind of talk about it. But I'm feeling led to talk about it because of what we just experienced with this mass shooting. And I spoke out at City Hall. No one should be using our babies, our narrative, to politically come up, to capitalize or poverty pimp on our narratives. And they continue to do that because we don't have the self-integrity. We don't have the self-regulation. And again, this goes back to not afraid to lose and tell the truth, not afraid to be able to make sure that we're manifesting future for our future generations, for our children. It starts right now.
Yeah, and you know, since you brought that up, I was gonna circle back to that too. Also, too, not only you knowing people, hearing about people that's passing away, but you're actually at a funeral home where you have to prepare the bodies and stuff for the families and stuff. So I can only imagine how much harder that is, even for somebody. And you was doing that at a young age, you know. That's
yeah, I was doing that at a young age. My dad. So we was raised in a funeral home. We played in a funeral home. You call me weird or whatever, but it was part of the family business. And so my dad is from back south. It is just, it's something that you do. You call someone to care for your loved one once they passed on. It's a rites of passage to be able to carry someone in their death and dying process. And so when I saw that, when I saw how some of my friends returned to be buried and they were no longer alive, it affected me growing up. It affected, you know how some kids are just exposed to too much growing up. Even though I was in a loving environment, a very supportive environment, I still was exposed to the vicarious trauma. I knew what Stockton was doing in the late 90s when East Side was gang banging against whatever, Crow Valley or Crow Valley shooting up the north, whatever the case it was. We lost so many men to the drug game, incarceration, to the school to prison pipeline, and as well to the streets, to gun violence. And I think in this moment in time, we need to speak up. We need to continue telling the narrative that we need to heal. We need to find a nonviolent approach, and we need to enroll in some therapy. If you're not enrolled in therapy, Jesus himself is not going to cover it. Muhammad is not going to come down. Santa Claus and everybody else you can call. You got to work on yourself. And that's for real, for real.
And it's even worse these days, you know. It's a lot worse these days. I mean, kids are younger. You wasn't, back when we was growing up, it wasn't people 14, 15, 16 doing these type of things. Now we got kids that's turning in their life for a life sentence, you know, and it's sad because they're influenced by different things, by the environment, by society, and they think it's the cool thing to do. And it's hard for me to see. Definitely some of these kids are our friends' kids, you know, so it makes
you already know. But
yeah.
Again, when you remove the father from the home, again, we're going to talk about social policies. We're going to talk about other different things that were barriers to how we were able to raise our own. We're going to talk about dysfunctional family systems, right? Like when you kicking the daddy out of the home, or when the mom is not doing right, you have a toxic relationship that you continue to manifest. Your children see that. And so a lot of times the children don't know how to put their finger on it. They carry it going to school. You're dealing with also food insecurity, the transportation issues, and other social issues that are happening with the family unit. So this is why I tell you these safe spaces, these safe passages like sports, these safe spaces that help with rearing your child. You know, a lot of single mamas, they're good mamas, you know, but there are still a certain masculine energy that maybe a young man may need. You know, yeah. Now we got single daddies raising children, you know what I mean? Because mothers are not present, or they're dealing with mental health issues. So our families have been broken for a very long time.
And we talk about the problems here and there, but we don't never talk about solutions. You know, how do we change these problems? We need to start talking about solutions. You know, like don't bring no problem up if you ain't bringing no solution with it. You know, a lot of people don't want to hear about the problems if you don't have no solutions with it, and that's what we need to really solutions. You know, how to fix these things. You know,
and keeping your truth. You're right.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I've been coaching youth football for 15 years now, and actually, I'm actually proud of how many fathers that I see out there now versus when I first started or when I was a kid playing sports. You know, my daddy wasn't present. A lot of these other people, fathers wasn't present. So I do think there are more fathers present, but it's still some solutions that need to happen in order for us to change what's going on out here in society.
That's right. And a lot of the solutions are right at your fingertips. Every regional park allows you to use your EBT card to get into it for free. You can use your EBT card to get into the museums and the aquariums for free. So a lot of people there, we have been pushing legislation, we have been pushing initiatives to be able to break down some of those barriers that we know that our children are not actively having positive experiences. And so those positive experiences invokes that ability to believe in yourself. So if you got a positive coach like you who is supporting the child, and then we're able to take field trips outside of those isolated areas where there's high crime, there's high poverty, there's not enough resources when it comes to mental health clinicians that look like you. When we start taking children out of their element, it gives them hope. It gives them ability to dream, be able to go out and go to a school, a college, a university, or take up a trade that allow them to travel outside of a marginalized area. These are things we can do right now. And I'm advocating now for voting, remembering our ability to vote. Remember that all of us have the ability to sit at a commission, to put in for a board or a committee and dedicate yourself to changing the atmosphere for our children and for our future.
Definitely. So what would you say far as because I know you had a lot of knowledge and stuff, like you ever thought about running for like city council and stuff like that? Because you have a lot of knowledge, you've been around the city for a long time, and you sound like you'll be a great person to run for a city council or maybe mayor in the future. So have you ever gave
I appreciate that. I think more on the national level, I would be interested, but right now I'm currently a correspondent and also a national strategist for communities like ours. And so a lot of politicians already call me, a lot of philanthropic groups that are trying to put funding in certain certain organizations or certain initiatives, they call me and I sit on a lot of advisory boards. I think that's more powerful in this moment, because I can really speak to the truth. I can speak to the testimonies and the stories that I'm hearing, especially from those that come to me as an advocate. As a politician, sometimes I'm taking someone's money and I'm not able to speak the truth. So right now, regionally in this valley, I want y'all to look up historically why they call it the name Mudville, and there's another one that they call it as well. They call it what's the other name they call Stockton? Do you remember the name? It's not Mudville, it's the other one, City.
Murder Valley. Mudville.
Not Port City.
They call it Murder Valley. The
corruption that happens here in this valley. And so until we can find I'm gonna say the ability to be freed from that, I feel that I will be as successful. I appreciate the Jason Lees, the Rhodesia Ransoms that have stepped up to really push through Mario Enriquez as well, who really just who pushes through and are fighting for marginalized communities. It takes very tough skin, but it also takes very tough and emotional intelligence to bring everyone together and tell the truth. And oftentimes I'm in that position. So when you don't see me, I'm still working for the people. I'm either traveling nationally. I work with a couple of initiatives right now in the state of California and also nationally as strategies for health equity and as well as school equity for our children.
And that's why I think sports could be a big help in this. You know, for me, myself, I feel like sports presents brotherhood, friendships. You know, your teammates is usually your brothers, and you fight together, and that could help dissolve a lot of issues that go on. Hey, man, you tripping with him? I know he's from over there, but man, that's my boy. We play football together. That's my boy. And another thing too with the sports for me is, you know, I've been wanting to go to high school, coach high school, move up, but I feel as a mentor, it's more effective getting the kids early on, you know, before they hit a certain age. You know, once they're in high school, you're kind of down that road already. So it's kind of harder to get you off that path than it is to, if I get you at 10, 11, 12, before you even get on the path, to try to get you on the right path before you get on there. So that's been my main thing with staying in youth sports for so long now, because, you know, we're not just coaches, we're mentors out here. And that's a big part. That's a big part of why I do this, because I have parents, like I said, I have parents calling me, Coach, can you talk to Lil Ray because he listens to you. He won't listen to me. Moms and stuff calling me in this, you know, and it's kind of, when I tell the kids all the time, man, why y'all listen to me? Why y'all don't listen to your parents? You know, your parents, why you don't listen to your parents? And sometimes they just need that other voice. You know, they need that other voice, definitely coming from somebody that they know that care about them, care about their well-being. So, and you know, and it's sad too, you know, when I do see former players go on the wrong track. So it's hard out here, but hopefully it gets better sooner than later. And that's what I'm praying for.
First of all, I really want to tell you thank you. Thank you for your dedication to our children and creating those spaces, showing up all the time, sometimes not always paid. Sometimes you have to transport with your own vehicle. Sometimes it takes a lot of your time out of your own personal life. But what I've noticed every time I coaches, the ones that are still living, I tell them a part of your dedication, your ability to pour into me is why I'm here today. And it's going to take an extension. It's going to take people and showing up for these kids. Because right now, when you to our kids, they feel lost. You got a person in the land right now, the president of the United States, really depicting something that we've never seen before from a high office. Our children are paying attention to everything, whether you or not. The community violence, age baiting, the culture of television, it's really shaping our kids' mind. So I think in this moment, if they can find a friendly face, a person, an adult that really shows that they're loved and they're supported to be heard, I really truly believe, Mac, we'll be able to have a preventive outcome. And it's prevention that's gonna be able to help our kids. It's going to be prevention that supports our kids making it to the next level in life. And sports is just an entryway. You know, it's just a pathway to make sure you stay on track. You got social groups, you know what I mean? You got fraternity groups and sorority groups. You got business groups. You got trade groups of individuals that will continue on that person. And I think we gotta stay connected to that as well as a pathway.
Yeah, and it's gotten so bad where I tell my parents, don't use pulling a kid from sports as punishment. You know, we gotta quit using that. We gotta quit. I understand taking a PlayStation, taking a phone, that's one thing, but don't pull sports. Don't pull them out of football or basketball as a punishment, because that's something that can help them. That them 2 hours at practice, that could be 2 hours where they're out there in the streets or doing something, something managed. So I don't think parents should be continue using taking sports away from a kid, because that could be something that could help them. Now the phones and all that stuff, I'm all there for as a parent.
Yeah.
But the sports,
that's definitely a privilege.
Yeah. That's more of a privilege. Sports thing, I think more parents should be forcing their kids to play sports. Get into sports. That can keep you time. That's time away from the streets. You become a brotherhood, a family, and also, they're paying millions of dollars. They paying millions of dollars. Now you're getting paid to go to college. You're getting a free college education. If you're good like that, you get a free college education, and now they're even paying these kids in college. That can really help transform a whole family, a whole neighborhood, actually. So I definitely push that issue to my parents. Please, even though you got to listen to your parents, I do push that issue with my kids. You gotta do your homework. You got to do your chores at home. You got to listen to your parents. But parents nowadays is not the time to use to take sports as a punishment away from these kids.
Yeah, and I will agree with you on that. And I also want to say, when I coach or mentor young people, also say it's an accountability of the young person as well. Treat your mother or your father with dignity and respect. And you don't put your father and your mother in a position where they have to punish you. You can get in. And I think reiterating respect, self-respect, and being the basic minimum, getting up, daily living activities. Young people, you can go so far in life with just handling your business before someone asks you to do it. And that's being respectful. That's being, I think, accountable, right? And so, are you teaching your young people accountability, Coach Matt?
Yes, definitely. I come from a single parent, so my mom always taught me accountability, and like that's what helped me. She told me, "You do the crime, you're gonna do the time." I'm not going to no court lying for you. I'm not doing any of that. And that helped keep me on the right path. Those that know my mom, my mom didn't do no playing, raising, being a single parent, raising three young boys. You know my mom. You know my mama too. So, Cheryl didn't do no playing.
Cheryl didn't play that.
No, but that helped me out.
Your grandma didn't play either. Your grandma didn't play either. Yeah.
At all. You know my family. So, but that helped me grow as a man. I knew that tough love. I needed that. I needed every bit of that, because I would have been dead or in prison if I didn't have that tough love coming from my mom and my grandmother. So that's definitely needed. Definitely, it's needed even more in today's times. It's definitely needed to be more time. All right,
holding that space for our children too is needed. So you feel that again.
Definitely. All right, so I got this last segment I want to do with you, and then I'm gonna let you tell a little bit more about what you got going on. But this last segment I want to do is a game that I play over here, and it's called Either Or.
Okay.
So being that you was a female basketball player, I'm gonna go either or on some names. You tell me which which one you rolling with over the other person? Whether it was the inspiration, whether it was a game, or you know, just any of that. So we're gonna start it off with I got a lot of WNBA stars. So we going with Sheryl Swoops or Cynthia Cooper.
Nice, Cheryl.
Hold on, you freezing up. Run that back.
Sheryl Swoopes. She was the original one to do it.
Sheryl Swoops, yeah. But Cynthia Cooper came right after her. Outdid everything she done.
She did.
But Sheryl Swoops is definitely.
You think she outdid it?
She broke all Sheryl Swoops records.
She did.
Yeah, Cynthia.
So
Cooper
are we going
did.
by the original and the founder and the one that paved the way, or are we going by the one that's breaking the record?
So your logic is
because we can
tell me your logic
about
is
Kobe, the Elijah one. You get what I'm saying? Like,
okay. So you saying you can never outshine the master type? That's what you going with?
No.
All right. I dig it. All right. Yeah, Sheryl Swoops. I love Sheryl Swoops too. I love Cynthia Cooper too. So we going with I'll probably know what you're going on this one because you mentioned her earlier. Lisa Leslie or Brittany Griner?
I'm gonna go with Brittany.
Hold on. You just said about the originator. You know.
I know what I said. Brittany Griner as a big man is nasty in the paint. The way she moved, her footwork, everything. Like, she's dominant. And I'm always gonna go for the dominant. Come to that 5. She showed me that.
That's like Shaq versus Kareem, huh? Okay. Shaq more than okay. All right, I like that. All right, let's go here with it then. Candace Parker or Maya Moore?
I'm gonna go with Candace Parker. I think she's fluid, the way she moves on the court, and her ability to shoot and go in the paint. I like that. I like that in the player.
Definitely. But Maya Moore, she come from the undefeated Connecticut. You know, Maya Moore did her thing for sure. But Candace Parker, yeah, she, you know, that I would take any one of them. All right, let's go here. We're gonna go old school versus the new school. You going Sue Bird or Clark, Caitlin Clark?
I'm going Sue Bird all day long. Nobody dealing with her plays, the way she run a play. Sue Bird all day long.
Sue Bird's nice, but Caitlin Clark, she's taking the women's basketball up a whole nother notch. She's taking it up a whole nother
like
notch.
she should be. Like she should be.
All right, let's go. Okay, we're going to two old schools. 2 of my favorite ones growing up. Shamika Hoslaw or Tamika Catchings?
That's a hard one for me.
It is.
They played the twos. They were shooting guards, weren't they?
Yeah, both of them. They were like one and the same to me.
They were. It's kind of like a neutral.
But Shamika, like she was different. She was Candace Parker before Candace Parker though.
She was.
You know, she was different. So who you got on that? You can't pick or what?
Can't pick on that one.
All right.
Yeah, I can't pick on that one.
So if it was in Drink Champs, you have to take a drink.
If we was in Drink Champs, yeah.
If we was in Drink Champs, you have to take a drink on that one. All right, let's go here. We're gonna go to an old school one versus the new school. The new school GOAT. We're gonna go with Diana Taurasi. Is that how you say her name? Yeah, something like that. Or Asia Wilson.
Love me, both of them, but I love that Diana Taurasi. She's a legend.
Asia's something different though now.
Asia's different. Diana she was a lot. She was a lot to take in.
Yeah, that ball handling skills, those
Yes,
passes,
it's
all
the
that.
ball handling skills. The
That,
pass
that,
and the ball handling skills and the assist, the way she used to get it into the big man all day long. I like a woman that know how to control the floor and see the entire floor. And Diana knew from the gate. She played through high spring ankles, being sick, like
as they call
she was
Chris Paul the point guard. She's like the point
right,
guard of women's basketball.
right. She was. She
Definitely.
made it happen. Yeah.
All right, so the last one, Della Don or Rebecca Lobo?
I'm gonna go with that Lobo.
Lobo?
It's Rebecca Lobo for me. That's a bias too.
That's bias. Wise bias.
Yeah, I got to meet her. She's like the coolest ever. Just like with how she engaged and everything, man.
But Della Don was more skillful than her, though. To me, she was
skillful. She was skillful, but Rebecca Lobo, for me, like really carried the actual team too. It's something like where you a team favorite. It's kind of like everybody kind of listen to LeBron or Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they like the team coach.
Lobo was definitely dominant and definitely
right.
she was Della Don before her, but Della Don just came with more skills.
Right.
All right, you're closing out. All right, so this is what I want to do. I want you to give me your Mount Rushmore of Stockton female ballers, and then I want your Mount Rushmore of professional female ballers. So you got 4 on each of Stockton. I know you didn't name some of the good Stockton people. But who would you put up there on that Mount Rushmore?
All right, here we go. We're gonna go with Dominique Banks.
Definitely.
Tamika Thompson. She older than you. She older than your sister.
Tamika Thompson.
She balled 4 months pregnant and no one knew.
Tamika Thompson. Where did she play at? I don't know her.
She was a point for Edison.
Tamika Thompson.
Thompson.
When I think of Edison, when I think of Edison ballers, I think of Talisha Mitchell.
Yeah, Talisha was my third. Talisha Mitchell.
Oh, you got Talisha.
Tamika Thompson was balling pregnant. No one didn't know she wore a big old jersey. She balling pregnant on everybody. Handles.
I don't know why I ain't up on her, because Talisha was like the first person I felt like she could ball with a nigga. She can ball with the dudes. The way she
it was a lot of us that can hang and ball with the dudes. It was a lot of
not
us.
like Talisha. Talisha was like, because I don't even think
Talisha was mad.
Dominique Banks is definitely the GOAT. I definitely think Dominique Banks is the GOAT, but I didn't look at her and feel like, oh, she can beat a lot of these dudes. When I saw Talisha, I was like, Talisha can drag some of these dudes. You know, Talisha was different. Like,
I just saw Coach Candace. I think Halloween. Oh, it might have been after that too. We was feeding the homeless, but Coach Candace, she loved her some Talisha Mitchell. But yeah, some of the greatest had good coaches too.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm always gonna uplift Celeste Trahan. Celeste Trahan, shout out to Boss Track. Celeste Trahan coming out of Boss Track has won championship after championship abroad.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
And she came from nowhere. Celeste came from nowhere. Huh?
Bro, it was her anger. Both me and her had anger issues. We used to go up underneath that basketball and that 5 and that paint. We used to go at it. I'm talking about elbows, titty twist, you know what I mean? Kidney shots. We going back and forth underneath. But Celeste, once she got her head in the game and she excelled to college and played abroad, she just became this beast.
She became a beast. And it's crazy because, you know, growing up with her in the tracks, she never balled with us. Like Asha Lee used to ball with us.
Asha Lee. Hey yo, shout out to Asha Lee. She makes it. She makes it. Asha Lee Bass. Yeah.
All right. So what's your? Because that's definitely I definitely I got to get my ball strike people. Ashley and Celeste definitely
Yeah,
some ballers from the hood, but Ashley balled with the fellas, so I already knew
yeah, she did.
I knew she was gonna be good because she used to be at the
Yeah,
school balling with us, and I used to always pick her on my team. I got her because she used to always
she
pass
was.
me.
She was. We never knew. No one ever knew who was studs because they was just. We was cute with it. You know what I'm saying? The tomboy, but Ashleek was one of those, and she was cute with it. Had a cute little face. Always had the face card, but yeah, she would ball on you in a
She a
minute.
baller. All right. So who was your four? You said Dominique Banks. You said Tamika Thompson.
Mhm.
That's
And
two.
I'm gonna throw one more out there that y'all ain't gonna like me, but that year I wanted to shut her down so bad. She got on my damn nerves. Conrad. You remember Michelle Conrad? Kozak.
Kozak.
She couldn't hit.
Kozak. She from
Wow.
St. Mary's too, right?
Yeah, St. Mary's. And shout out to Camille Small. Camille Small played that for
Camille
and
used to
handled
ball
that.
at Lincoln. Camille used to ball at Lincoln. But
She handled
Kozak,
it.
you putting Kozak over Jackie?
No.
No,
We
can't
know
do that.
what it is with Jackie Remo, but Kozak our year, like she took them to championship. They could not shut her down.
Yeah.
That got on our nerves. Oh my God. When they played Edison, Franklin, oh my God. That got on our nerves bad. I
But
think Brookside had Lolo in them. Remember Lolita?
Lolita.
They was pretty good that year too.
Pretty Lolita?
Tall Lolita.
Black and Filipino Lolita? Not her. No, it can't be her. I don't think she balled.
No.
But if you mention Camille, if you're going to mention anybody from Lincoln, it got to be Belle Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Belle was like baby Shaq in there. Belle was
big. Yeah.
Belle was baby. Get out the way. Belle was baby Shaq up in here,
You already know.
But Camille ball too, but Camille wasn't Belle. She wasn't Belle at all.
She wasn't Belle. You know, the Bubba Paris twins came out of Roots in Stockton.
Yeah.
But they never grew here.
Oh, but hold on. Now that you mentioned Bubba Paris twins, yeah, they was hard. But hold on, we slipping on somebody. We slipping on people, I think. The girls from St. Mary's, they went to the WNBA. Gray or something? Gray?
Yes, I told you. Didn't I say Jackie Remo?
No, I'm talking about the black girl. Gray. Her last name was Gray or something.
They had a girl out of Tracy. I kind of lost track after our year at St. Mary's. But they had a girl named Tracy. She was Cameo Hicks. You remember Cameo Hicks? She looked like she light skinned. She looked like Rihanna.
Pretty girl. Cameo was dope. That was during Talisha. Yeah. That was during Talisha in them era. Yeah. Cameo Hicks was. Oh yeah, I forgot about her. She was nasty.
She was division. She was nasty. She used
and
to
pretty as hell. And pretty in the
motherfucker. And pretty had the face card. Yep. It was a lot of us.
Camille. I called her Camille Hicks. Yeah. She was
Cameo Hicks.
She was dope. Definitely. All right. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of people for sure. So give me your WNBA Mount Rushmores.
All right. We're gonna go with Candace.
Candace
for 5 or 4. For 3, I'm still gonna go with Diana. What's her last name?
Taurasi.
I just like how she handled the ball. This new school, I'm really like, they good, but I feel like the old school really just showed up with like more grit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had to have it my way, I would go with an old school roster. Like this new school is cool, but it don't really move me like the old school. And maybe that's just me and my bias. But throw some names out there for me, because you know my memory's not as good.
Well, the GOAT, the female GOAT is Cheryl Miller.
God damn, I forgot about Cheryl.
Cheryl is the female GOAT, you know, to be honest, but
Hey,
was there
Cheryl
competition like that back then, though? You know, people
no,
always say
no.
that. People always
Now
say
Cheryl
that,
Miller,
you know.
Cheryl Miller was foundation. She was
She would have bought
foundation.
she would have bought in any era.
Yeah, she would have. Cheryl Miller, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna say Pat Summitt.
Pat Summitt.
Pat. Mm-hmm.
She's more known as coaching. You know, her ball.
She still played. Fundamentally, she was a fundamental player, though.
Yeah.
Fundamentals. Yeah. Everybody don't know those drops, the jump stop pivots, to be able to push out and see a play. Everybody can't see that.
Yeah,
those individual players, they go into coaching.
Yeah, I don't know about her too much in playing, but coaching, I know she's definitely one of the best coaches.
Definitely.
You know,
ever. So, and she's from the area.
She from where?
Stockton. She's from this area.
Pat Summitt ain't from Stockton.
I'm pretty sure she is. Run that, and look at where she at. We got I thought it was Pat Summitt.
No, we got to fact
look
check
that up. Fact check that.
Got to fact check that. Come on, man.
I thought she was from the Central Valley area. I might be wrong.
I ain't never heard of her being from out here.
You have to ask Google.
Pat Summitt. All right, let me see. All right, we're gonna pull up her Wikipedia. We're gonna pull up her Wikipedia.
Did it come up?
She was born in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Pat Summitt. We had a major coach that contributed to WNBA history come out of this area. I gotta remember the name. I thought it was Pat Summitt though.
Oh, she died? She did die.
Yeah, she passed away.
And
a lot of the greats are passing away.
10 years ago. Yeah. I forgot about she died. Damn, it seemed like just yesterday that she was just coaching. All right, before we close out, is there any shout outs, anything you want to let the people know before we get out of here? I appreciate your time today. Definitely been a great interview with you. Hey, we was supposed to be talking about sports. We got in a little politics. We got a little bit of everything on here. So I appreciate you, Rachel, or RC.
That's okay.
RC.
Either way, how you refer
to Rebel Ray.
Know me as Rachel, but I just want to give a shout out to the Trade 43 Foundation. I'm bringing the Not Afraid to Lose podcast. I'm a brand ambassador for Trade 43 clothing, and I really want to always reiterate the narrative around why I wear the clothing, why it's important, because believing in Trey, believing in the foundation of who he was as a person, as a player, and how he contributed in a short time span, has really developed the vision from his mother, who continues to push his legacy. So shout out to Kimberly Ganner. And, you know, we oftentimes see on the outside what people go through, even what they say, how they act sometimes, but never really understand the hurt. And so giving that empathy lens, giving a holistic and trauma-informed lens on how we view our community members, how we love on one another, just remembering the things that Trey stood for. And so that's why we continue this Not Afraid to Lose podcast with interviewing people who use sports as an avenue to regulate and support themselves and their communities. So she paved the way for South Stockton and for Stocktonians in general. And just know that is one love for everybody. You can follow me and my work that I'm doing continuously in the community and nationwide on the People's Empowerment Center and its Facebook and Instagram pages. Also, check out a couple of our interviews, a lot of rough interviews starting off on the prune tree, but we got them through. So I continue to encourage everybody, get your narrative out there. Feel seen, feel loved, connect.
Where can people see your podcast?
They can see my podcast on my YouTube channel and also the Prune Tree Podcast and also on Spotify. We also have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. So you can find that. It's underneath the Prune Tree Podcast.
Okay, dope. Well, continue what you're doing, girl. You're doing some great things in the community. I've been seeing and hearing a lot of things about you, and I'm proud of you, girl, because we go back. We are our old school party days, in the club,
don't bring that up.
Tearing them clubs up, girl.
She dead, man. You didn't brought her up, brought her alive, huh?
We old now. We old now, and them was good times though. Them was definitely good times, but we old now. We had a lot of great times in them clubs and stuff. But yeah, I just want to give you your flowers and tell you keep doing what you're doing, girl. You're doing amazing stuff. I see you going to bat at people. You really being. I see why you're doing the Rebel Ray, because I've been seeing some stuff, and I was like, oh, Rachel ain't playing. Like she going in. She don't care. And I'll be trying to stand down from some of the stuff, but you be going in, but keep applying that pressure, girl. They need that pressure. Put that pressure on them or whoever. But definitely appreciate having you on to this evening. But yeah, so keep in touch though, man. Tap in with me if you ever need some assistance in what you're doing. I'm always a helping hand out there doing some community work. So you always got a friend in me.
So thank you. I appreciate you. And y'all take care, family. Keep your head up in Stockton. I'll continue my work, nation and abroad. You can also reach out to us at the Stockton Observer. I will be continuing my efforts in civic engagement and social justice, being a correspondent. So look out for a lot of my articles that will be put into the paper. And we're going to be continuing to talk about those issues and continue to mobilize as well.
All right. Well, you have a good one. Stay cute, girl.
Peace and blessings. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right, y'all. All right. We're going to end it with the outro real quick, y'all.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say you love me, you don't love me, why you change on me? Keep a on my side, it won't change on me. Shout out, please, that's my brother, he won't fold on me. And if it come down to it, he up for me. This tricky, seeing how these other niggas move. Gotta keep my head on the swivel, gotta play it smooth. Know I can die anything, so I ain't afraid to lose. I'm knee deep up in this water, gotta stick and move.
All right, y'all. So there we have it. That is closing for episode 6. Y'all, appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Not Afraid to Lose podcast. Y'all catch us here every Monday, 6 p.m., either 6 or 7 p.m., y'all, live and direct, y'all. We be interviewing people that's involved in the local sports arena. So y'all make sure y'all continue to support and stay tapped in, y'all. We will be announcing our next interview for next Monday, y'all. So make sure y'all be here for that, And we're even gonna start getting some of the youth on here because we want to hear some of their stories. I got a couple of the youth people in mind, a couple high school players. I want to bring on. So we're definitely gonna get to them and bring them on here. But y'all continue to support, y'all. They're Not Afraid to Lose local sports podcast, y'all. So until next time, We love y'all. Holla at the Mac. And I swear I'll holla back, y'all. It's been another one. See ya.